All right, so you're prepping for an actor-actress interview and feeling that mix of excitement and nerves.
Ooh.
Yeah, get it. Think of this deep dive as your backstage pass to interview success, like we're your acting coaches, helping you nail that audition.
Absolutely.
We got a stack of RoleCatcher resources, career guides, interview guides, even insights into their AI tools.
Amazing.
Ready to break down those typical questions and sprinkle in some insider career tips.
Let's do it.
Okay, before we jump into the questions, let's set the stage. We all know actors bring characters to life.
Yes.
But it's more than just reciting lines, right?
Yes.
It's finding that subtle gesture,
Yes.
that vocal inflection that reveals the character's soul.
Exactly. It's using your whole being, your voice, your movements, your emotions to embody a character completely. And it's not limited to just the stage. Think live theater, TV, film, even voice acting for animation or video games.
And speaking of the bigger picture, RoleCatcher's Career Guide breaks down the actor's journey into 4 stages.
Yep.
Starting at the entry level, it's all about building that portfolio, student films, local theater, even those passion projects you create with friends. It's about getting those reps in and showing your range.
Exactly. And as you progress, those expectations shift. The intermediate level is about getting an agent, networking, and really honing your craft. Think specialized classes, workshops, maybe even learning stage combat or a new dialect to stand out from the crowd.
So how does RoleCatcher fit into all of this? Well, imagine having a secret weapon
Okay.
that analyzes job descriptions and pinpoints exactly what employers are looking for.
RoleCatcher's AI does just that. Let's say a job description emphasizes strong improvisational skills. RoleCatcher would flag that, allowing you to tailor your resume to highlight any improv experience and even practice relevant answers with their Copilot AI.
That Copilot AI is like having a virtual acting coach in your pocket.
Yeah.
It helps you tailor your answers, get feedback on your delivery, and even analyze your video rehearsals.
Wow.
We'll dive deeper into that later, but for now, let's face the music time to tackle some of those common actor-actress interview questions.
All right, let's start with a classic. How did you get interested in acting? Seems simple, right?
Yeah?
But this is your chance to spark their interest with your origin story.
What are they really trying to uncover with this one?
They're looking for that spark, that defining moment that ignited your passion. Was it a childhood play, a captivating performance, a mentor who saw your potential? This isn't just about answering the question, it's about captivating them with your story.
Okay, so how do we avoid falling into the trap of giving a generic, I've always led performing answer?
Exactly, that's way too broad. Share a specific experience. Maybe it was playing a tree in a school play and realizing the power of bringing even a silent character to life. Or maybe it was watching a film and being completely transported by an actor's performance. Be genuine, be engaging, and let your passion shine through.
So instead of a generic response, we could say something like, my grandmother used to take me to see Broadway shows as a kid. I remember being mesmerized by the spectacle, the energy, the way the actors commanded the stage. It was during a performance of The Lion King that I realized I wanted to be a part of that world to create those kinds of magical experiences for others.
Now, that's a story that really paints a picture. You can practically feel that wide-eyed kid experiencing the magic of theater for the first time. And that's what this question is all about, transporting the interviewer into your world. Now let's move on to a question that dives into the heart of your experience. What has been your most challenging role to date?
Here's where we showcase our ability to tackle tough situations, right?
Yes.
What are they hoping to learn from this one?
They're looking for resilience, problem-solving skills, and a willingness to push your boundaries. It's not about listing every role you've ever played. It's about choosing one that truly tested you and explaining why.
So if I were to say playing a character with a completely different accent was a challenge, what kind of follow-up question might they ask?
They might dig deeper into the specifics. What accent was it? What techniques did you use to master it? Did you work with a dialect coach? How did you overcome the challenges of maintaining the accent throughout the performance? This is where your preparation shines.
So a stronger answer might be my most challenging role was playing a young woman with agoraphobia in a short film. The character's fear and anxiety were so intense, so different from my own personality, that it took a lot of emotional and mental preparation to fully embody her. I researched the condition, spoke to people who had experienced it, and even spent time in confined spaces to tap into that sense of claustrophobia. It was a grueling process, but ultimately rewarding to portray such a complex and vulnerable character.
That's a great example. It showcases your dedication, your willingness to go the extra mile, and your ability to empathize with characters far removed from your own experience. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about preparation. A common question you might encounter is, how do you prepare for a role?
This is where we get to geek out on the craft,
You
right?
got
Share those techniques, those rituals that help us bring a character to life.
This is your opportunity to show them you're not just reciting lines, you're crafting a complete and compelling persona. Do you dive into research, create character backstories, use sense memory or method acting techniques? Be specific. Showcase your methodology and let your passion for the process shine through.
But what about those less tangible aspects of preparation? Like, how do you mentally and emotionally prepare for a role, especially one that's emotionally demanding?
That's a great point. Interviewers often appreciate hearing about those personal techniques. Maybe you meditate, listen to music, or journal to get into the right headspace. Sharing these insights can make you stand out as a thoughtful and introspective actor.
So a good answer might be, my preparation always starts with a deep dive into the script. I break down the characters' motivations, their relationships, their arc throughout the story. Then, depending on the role, I might delve into research, create a detailed backstory, or even experiment with different physicalities and vocal exercises to embody the character fully. And to prepare emotionally, I find that journaling from the character's perspective helps me tap into their inner world.
That's a great example. You've blended those technical aspects of preparation with those more personal touches, showcasing your multifaceted approach to crafting a performance. Now, speaking of challenges, this next question dives into a tough but inevitable part of an actor's life. How do you handle rejection in the audition process?
Rejection is part of the game, but it never gets easier, right?
It's true. This question isn't about pretending rejection doesn't sting. It's about showcasing your resilience, your ability to learn from setbacks, and your unwavering commitment to your craft.
Okay, so how do we tailor our answers to resonate with what employers are looking for? RoleCatcher's AI can really help here, right?
Absolutely. Remember, RoleCatcher analyzes job descriptions to pinpoint those key skills. Let's say you're applying for a role in a fast-paced, highly collaborative television series. RoleCatcher might highlight resilience, adaptability, and teamwork as being super important to that production team.
So instead of just saying, I use rejection as a learning experience, we can tailor the answer to emphasize those specific qualities they're seeking.
Exactly. You could say something like, I view rejection as an inevitable part of the process, and I've learned to bounce back quickly. It's helped me develop resilience, which I know is crucial in a fast-paced environment like television. I always try to get feedback even from auditions I don't get because I see it as a chance to refine my craft and become a stronger collaborator.
That's a brilliant way to connect your personal experience with the specific needs of the role. And that's what sets RoleCatcher apart. It's about strategically highlighting your strengths in a way that truly resonates.
Now let's move on to a question that gives you a chance to share your passions. What is your favorite type of character to portray?
This one seems like a fun opportunity to showcase our personality and what excites us as actors. What are they really after here?
They want to get a sense of your range, your artistic sensibilities, and maybe even where you see yourself fitting into the industry. Are you drawn to complex dramatic roles, comedic, quirky characters, strong, independent figures? Your answer can reveal a lot about your artistic leanings.
So how do we avoid the pitfalls of being too general or limiting ourselves too much?
Definitely. Saying, I like all kinds of roles doesn't give them much to work with, and saying, I only want to play romantic leads might make them question your versatility. Choose a type of character that genuinely excites you and explain why.
Okay, what if I said I'm drawn to characters who are deeply flawed but also deeply human? I love exploring those contradictions, those moments where they make choices that are both relatable and reprehensible.
That's a great start, but think about how you can add a specific example. Maybe mention a character from literature, film, or theater that exemplifies this type of role.
So I could add, like Macbeth, for example. He's driven by ambition and ultimately makes terrible choices, but there's a vulnerability, a humanity in him that makes his downfall all the more tragic.
Perfect. You've added depth and specificity, showcasing your knowledge and your passion for exploring complex characters. Now let's tackle a question that often makes actors nervous. What is your experience with improv?
Ah, improv. The wild card of the acting world.
Right.
What are they hoping to gauge with this one?
Improv skills are highly valued because they demonstrate adaptability, quick thinking, and strong collaboration. Even if the role doesn't specifically involve improv, having that foundation shows you're comfortable thinking on your feet and embracing spontaneity.
But what if we haven't had any formal improv training? Is it okay to admit that?
Absolutely. Honesty is key. But even if you haven't taken classes, you can still highlight instances where you've had to be adaptable or think creatively on the spot.
So if a scene went off script during a performance and I had to improvise my way through it, that would be worth mentioning.
Definitely. Give a specific example and explain how you handled the situation. Did you stay in character? Did you find a way to weave the unexpected moment into the scene? This demonstrates your ability to stay calm under pressure and think creatively.
Okay, so instead of saying, I don't have much experience with improv,
Hmm.
I could say, while I haven't taken formal improv classes, I've always enjoyed the challenge of thinking on my feet. During a college production, my scene partner forgot their lines. Had to improvise dialogue to keep the scene moving forward, staying true to my character and the overall tone of the play. It taught me the importance of active listening and being present in the moment, ready to adapt to anything.
Now, that's a great example of turning a potential weakness into a strength. You've highlighted your adaptability and your ability to think on your feet even without formal improv training. Now let's move on to a question that focuses on your interpersonal skills. How do you work with a difficult director or co-star?
Ah, the world of show business can be full of big personalities.
Yes.
What are the key things to remember when answering this one?
This question is all about showcasing your professionalism and your ability to navigate challenging interpersonal dynamics. Remember, the interviewer wants to see that you can handle conflict constructively and maintain a positive and collaborative working environment.
So what should our approach be? Should we share a specific anecdote or speak more generally about our conflict resolution skills?
A specific anecdote can be powerful, but choose wisely. Make sure the example highlights your ability to communicate effectively, listen to different perspectives, and find solutions that benefit the entire team.
Okay, how about this? In a recent production, I had a co-star who had a very different interpretation of our character's relationship. It created some tension during rehearsals, but I made an effort to understand their perspective, and we had an open and honest conversation about our approaches. We were able to find common ground and ultimately created a more dynamic and nuanced performance.
That's a great example. It shows you're proactive, you're willing to communicate openly, and you're focused on finding solutions that benefit the entire production. Now let's tackle another question that requires careful consideration. How do you handle criticism?
Ah, criticism. It's part of any creative field, but it can sting, especially when you're pouring your heart into a role. What's the best way to approach this one?
The key is to strike a balance between humility and self-assurance. Acknowledge that constructive criticism is valuable for growth, but also demonstrate that you're confident in your abilities and your artistic choices.
So should we avoid mentioning specific instances where we received criticism, or is it okay to share an example as long as it's framed positively?
A specific example can be powerful, but choose wisely. Make sure it highlights your ability to receive feedback, gracefully learn from it, and use it to improve your craft.
Okay, what if I said, I was once criticized for being too technical in my approach, focusing too much on the mechanics of the performance and not enough on the emotional truth. It was tough to hear at first, but I realized that the feedback was valid. I've been working on being more present in the moment, allowing myself to be vulnerable and connect more deeply with the emotional core of the character.
That's a great example of turning a potentially negative experience into a positive learning opportunity. You've acknowledged the criticism, explained why you think it's valid, and highlighted the steps you're taking to address it. Now let's move on to a question that gives you a chance to shine a light on your achievements. What is your favorite performance you have given?
This one's a chance to reminisce about those magical moments on stage or screen.
Yes.
What are they hoping to learn from this question?
They're looking for insights into your proudest moments, the roles that resonated most deeply with you, and the performances that showcased your unique strengths as an actor. It's also a chance to get a glimpse into your personal values and what you consider to be artistic success.
So what kind of performance should we choose? One that received critical acclaim or one that holds personal significance, even if it was a smaller production?
Choose a performance that genuinely makes you proud, one that holds a special place in your heart. Explain why it stands out to you. Was it the challenging nature of the role, the connection you felt with the character, the impact it had on the audience, or perhaps a personal breakthrough you experienced? Share those insights with passion and sincerity.
Okay, what if my favorite performance wasn't in a big flashy production, but rather a small independent play that resonated deeply with me?
That's perfectly fine. What matters is that you can articulate why it was meaningful to you. Perhaps it was a role that pushed you outside your comfort zone, or maybe it was a story that touched on a theme that resonated with your own life experiences.
So I could say something like, my favorite performance was playing a young woman struggling with addiction in a small independent play. It was a challenging and emotionally demanding role, but it also felt incredibly important to bring this character's story to life. The play was performed in a community center for people recovering from addiction, and the response from the audience was incredibly powerful. To know that my performance had touched them on such a deep level was incredibly rewarding.
That's a beautiful example. It showcases your empathy, your commitment to meaningful storytelling, and your ability to find fulfillment in connecting with audiences on a personal level. Now let's wrap up this question deep dive with one that looks to the future. What are your long-term career goals as an actor?
Ah, the big picture. What are they seeking to understand with this final question?
They want to know your ambitions, your vision for your career, and your commitment to the long game. Do you have a clear sense of direction? Do your aspirations align with their company or project? And do you have the drive and determination to achieve your goals?
So, should we be specific about the types of roles we want to play, or is it better to keep our answer more open-ended?
It's good to be specific about your aspirations while also demonstrating flexibility and a willingness to embrace new opportunities.
Okay. How can we tailor our answer to highlight those key skills that RoleCatcher might identify as important for the specific role?
Let's say you're applying for a role in a theater company that focuses on developing new works. RoleCatcher might highlight collaboration, creativity, and passion for new plays as important qualities. You could say something like, my long-term goal is to be a part of a vibrant and innovative theater community, collaborating with talented writers, directors, and actors to create groundbreaking and thought-provoking work. I'm particularly drawn to companies that champion new voices and push the boundaries of theatrical storytelling.
That's a great example of how we can use RoleCatcher's AI to tailor our answers and make sure we're hitting those key points that resonate with the specific role and company. Now, before we dive into the career guide and RoleCatcher's AI tools, let's take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment to continue our deep dive into the world of actor-actress interview prep.
Sounds good. So, before the break, we were talking about aligning your long-term career goals with the specific roles you're auditioning for. But let's dive back into those interview questions.
Okay.
We've covered some of the common ones, but now let's explore a few that require a bit more finesse.
Okay, I'm ready for the challenge. Hit me with a tough one.
All right, how about this? Have you ever had to work with a director whose vision you didn't agree with? How did you handle that situation?
This one can be tricky because it touches on those delicate creative collaborations.
It definitely requires some careful navigation.
Yeah.
You want to show you can stand up for your artistic integrity while still being a team player. What's the best way to strike that balance? The interviewer is looking for your ability to handle creative differences with diplomacy and professionalism. Remember, acting is a collaborative art form, and sometimes you have to compromise for the greater good of the production.
So should we avoid mentioning specific instances of disagreement, or is it okay to share an anecdote as long as it's framed positively?
An anecdote can be powerful, but choose it wisely. Make sure it highlights your communication skills, your willingness to listen, and your ability to find solutions that benefit the entire team.
Okay, let's say I had a director who envisioned a scene very differently than I did. Could I say something like, I had a director who had a very specific vision for a particular scene. I had a different interpretation, but instead of just disagreeing, I asked questions to understand their perspective better. We had a productive conversation, and I was able to incorporate their feedback while staying true to my understanding of the character.
That's a great example. It shows you're not afraid to voice your opinion, but you're also respectful of the director's vision and willing to collaborate. Now, here's another question that often trips actors up. Tell me about a time you had to make a significant change to your performance based on feedback you received.
Ah, the power of feedback. This one can be tough because it requires us to be open to criticism and willing to adjust our approach, even when we feel strongly about our choices.
It's all about showing your adaptability, your willingness to learn and grow, and your ability to take direction effectively. Choose a specific instance where you received feedback that led to a meaningful shift in your performance. Explain what the feedback was, how you initially felt about it, and how you incorporated it to improve your portrayal.
Okay, what if I was once told that my performance was too over the top and lacked subtlety? Could I say something like, I was working on a very emotional scene and I was really going for it, giving it my all, but the director pulled me aside and said it felt too melodramatic. At first I was a bit defensive, but then I realized they were right. I took a step back, focused on the internal emotions of the character, and found a way to convey the intensity without going over the top. The scene became much more powerful as a result.
That's a great example. It shows you can handle criticism gracefully, learn from it, and ultimately improve your performance. Now let's shift gears and explore a question that delves into your professional aspirations. What type of roles or projects are you most interested in pursuing in the future?
This one's fun. It's a chance to dream big and share our artistic vision. What are they hoping to learn from our answer?
They want to see if your aspirations align with their company or project. They're also gauging your passion, your drive, and your knowledge of the industry. Do you have a specific niche you're drawn to, like Shakespearean theater or independent films? Or maybe you're passionate about using your craft to tell stories that raise awareness about social issues. Share what truly excites you about the work.
So is it better to be specific about the types of roles we're interested in? Or should we keep it more open-ended to show our versatility?
It's good to strike a balance. You can mention specific genres or styles that resonate with you, but also express a willingness to explore new territory and embrace diverse opportunities.
Okay, what if I'm particularly interested in working on projects that deal with themes of social justice and representation? Could I say something like, I'm drawn to stories that challenge social norms, amplify marginalized voices, and promote empathy and understanding? I believe that art has the power to spark dialogue and create positive change, and I'm passionate about using my craft to contribute to that effort.
That's a powerful statement. It shows you're not just an actor, but a thoughtful and engaged individual who cares about using your platform to make a difference. Now let's explore a question that gets to the heart of your understanding of the industry. What are some of the current trends in the entertainment industry that excite you or that you think are important for actors to be aware of?
This one's all about showing we're not just talented performers, but also informed, engaged members of the industry. What are some key trends we could highlight?
You could mention the rise of streaming services, the increasing demand for diverse and inclusive storytelling, or the advancements in technology that are changing the way stories are told. The key is to demonstrate that you're paying attention, you're curious, and you're embracing the evolving landscape of the entertainment world.
So if I mention something like, I'm excited about the growing opportunities for actors from underrepresented communities to tell their stories and share their perspectives, I think it's crucial for the industry to reflect the diversity of the world we live in, both on screen and behind the scenes. Would that be a strong point to make?
Absolutely. That shows you're aware of the shifting landscape of representation and that you value inclusion and diversity in storytelling. Now let's delve into a question that might require a bit of introspection. Tell me about a time you had to make a difficult choice as an actor, one that involved compromising or sacrificing something you valued.
This one gets personal. It's about our values, our priorities, and those tough decisions we sometimes have to make in pursuit of our artistic goals.
Exactly. It could be about choosing between a challenging role that pays very little and a more commercial project that might compromise your artistic integrity. Or it could be about balancing your personal life with the demands of your career. Choose an experience that genuinely reflects a difficult choice you faced and explain how you navigated that decision-making process.
Okay, let's say I had to choose between a lead role in a play that would require me to relocate for several months and a recurring role on a TV show that filmed in my hometown. Could I say something like, I was offered a fantastic role in a play, but it meant leaving my family and support system behind for an extended period. Ultimately, I decided to prioritize my personal life and chose the TV role. It was a tough decision, but it taught me the importance of finding a balance between my artistic aspirations and my personal well-being.
That's a great example of showcasing your maturity and self-awareness. It shows that you're not just chasing every opportunity, you're considering the bigger picture and making choices that align with your values. Now let's explore a question that assesses your understanding of the collaborative nature of acting. Describe a time when you had to work closely with a fellow actor to create a memorable scene or performance. What was your approach to collaboration?
This one's all about teamwork communication and that special synergy that can happen between actors. What are the key elements of a strong collaborative process?
Highlight your ability to listen, communicate openly, respect different perspectives, and build trust with your scene partners. Choose a specific scene or performance where collaboration was crucial, and describe the strategies you used to create a cohesive and compelling performance.
Okay, I remember a time when I was working on a scene with a co-star who had a very different acting style than I did. We were playing a couple who were going through a difficult time, and we had to find a way to make that tension feel authentic. We spent a lot of time discussing our characters' backstories and motivations, and we rehearsed the scene in different ways, experimenting with different approaches, till we found something that felt real and raw. Could I use that as an example?
Absolutely. That's a great example of how collaboration can lead to creative breakthroughs. You've highlighted your ability to communicate openly, respect different approaches, and find solutions that benefit the overall performance. Now let's tackle a question that assesses your ability to handle pressure in unexpected situations. Tell me about a time when something went wrong during a performance. How did you handle it?
Ugh. Ah, the dreaded onstage mishap. Every actor's nightmare. But it's also a chance to show our professionalism, our quick thinking, and our ability to stay calm under pressure.
Exactly. Choose an instance where something unexpected happened, whether it was a forgotten line, a technical malfunction, or even an unexpected interruption from the audience. Explain how you stayed composed, adapted to the situation, and kept the show going.
Okay, I remember one time during a play, the set piece I was supposed to use malfunctioned right before a pivotal scene. I had a moment of panic, but then I quickly improvised a solution using a different prop that was nearby. The audience never knew the difference, and the scene played out seamlessly. Would that be a good example to share?
That's a perfect example. It shows you can think on your feet, solve problems creatively, and maintain your composure under pressure. Resourcefulness is a valuable quality for any actor. Now let's move on to a question that delves into your personal growth as an actor. What is one area of your craft that you're currently working on improving or that you'd like to explore further in the future?
Ah, the journey of lifelong learning. This question is all about showcasing our dedication to growth, our passion for pushing our boundaries, and our commitment to becoming more versatile and well-rounded actors.
It's your chance to demonstrate that you're not complacent. You're always striving to learn and grow. Choose an area of your craft that you're genuinely excited about, whether it's voice work movement, a specific acting technique, or even something like stage combat or puppetry. Explain why it interests you and how you believe it will enhance your skills as an actor.
Okay, I've been wanting to explore voiceover work more. I'm fascinated by the challenges of conveying emotions and telling stories solely through your voice. I've been taking some workshops and practicing different vocal techniques, and I'm excited to see where this new path takes me. Would that be a good area to mention?
That's a great example. It shows you're expanding your skill set, exploring new territories, and embracing the multifaceted nature of the acting profession. Now let's delve into a question that assesses your self-awareness and your ability to handle feedback objectively. What is one criticism you've received about your acting that you think is valid, and how are you working to address it?
This one can be tough because it requires us to acknowledge our weaknesses and be open to constructive criticism. What's the best approach here?
The key is to choose a criticism that you genuinely believe holds some truth, even if it was difficult to hear at first. Explain why you think it's valid, the steps you're taking to address it, and how you believe it will ultimately make you a stronger actor. It shows you're humble, you're self-aware, and you're committed to continuous improvement.
Okay, what if I was once told that I tend to rush my lines and that I need to slow down and savor the language more? Could I say something like, I've been told that I sometimes get too caught up in the momentum of a scene and rush through my lines. I realized it's because I'm eager to get to the next beat to keep the energy flowing. But I'm working on taking my time, letting the words breathe and allowing those pauses to land with the audience. It's about finding a balance between pacing and presence.
That's a great example of turning a potential weakness into an opportunity for growth. It shows you're listening to feedback, reflecting on your performance, and taking concrete steps to improve your craft. Now let's wrap up this question deep dive with one that gets to the heart of your passion. What do you love most about acting? This is your chance to let your heart shine through. Share what truly moves you about this craft.
Okay, I'm ready to get a little sentimental. I love that feeling of complete immersion when I step into a character's world. It's like shedding my own identity and embracing a completely different way of being. And I love the collaboration, the energy exchange between actors on stage or on set. It's like we're all creating this magical world together. Would that be a good way to express my passion?
That's a beautiful and authentic answer. It captures the essence of what it means to be an actor, the transformative power of embodying different characters, and the joy of collaborating to create something special. Now that we've covered a wide range of interview questions, let's shift gears and explore how RoleCatcher's AI can help you tailor your answers and prepare for specific job roles. Remember, we've talked about their AI-powered resume builder and the Copilot AI for interview practice, but there's so much more to explore.
Yes. I'm eager to learn how these tools can take our interview prep to the next level. Let's start with the AI-powered resume builder. How does it work and how can it help us stand out from the crowd?
RoleCatcher's AI analyzes job descriptions to identify the key skills and experience that employers are seeking. It then suggests relevant keywords and phrases to incorporate into your resume, ensuring that it aligns perfectly with the requirements of the role. It's like having a personal career coach helping you craft the perfect resume for each specific job you apply for.
So it's not just about listing our acting credits and experience. It's about strategically highlighting those aspects that are most relevant to the specific role.
Exactly. The AI helps you tailor your resume to match the language and priorities of the employer, increasing your chances of getting noticed and selected for an interview. Now let's talk about the Copilot AI, which is truly revolutionary for interview prep.
I'm eager to hear more. We've already discussed how it can help tailor answers and provide feedback on delivery, but what else can it do?
Copilot AI takes interview prep to a whole new level. It uses artificial intelligence to analyze your answers, your vocal delivery, and even your body language during video rehearsals. It provides personalized feedback on your pacing, your tone, your clarity, and even your nonverbal cues. It's like having a virtual acting coach and director guiding you every step of the way.
So it's not just about what we say, it's about how we say it. It's about those subtle nuances of delivery that can make all the difference in an audition or interview.
Exactly. Copilot AI helps you refine your performance, ensuring that you're projecting confidence, authenticity, and charisma. It also helps you identify and eliminate any nervous habits or distracting mannerisms that might be holding you back. It's like having a personal feedback loop, allowing you to constantly refine your technique and present yourself in the best possible light.
That's incredible. I can see how these AI tools could be game changers for actors at all stages of their careers.
Absolutely. Whether you're just starting out or you're a seasoned professional, RoleCatcher's AI can help you level up your interview game and increase your chances of landing that dream role.
Now, before we wrap up our deep dive, I want to touch on something we mentioned earlier, continuous learning. The career guide emphasizes the importance of ongoing training and development throughout an actor's career.
That's right. The industry is constantly evolving, so it's crucial to stay ahead of the curve, embrace new techniques, and never stop honing your craft. Whether it's taking classes, attending workshops, reading books, watching films, or even simply observing the world around you, there's always something new to learn and discover.
So it's not just about preparing for specific roles. It's about cultivating a lifelong love of learning and embracing the ongoing journey of growth as an artist.
Exactly. The most successful actors are those who are curious, adaptable, and constantly seeking new ways to expand their skills and deepen their understanding of the craft.
And with tools like RoleCatcher, we can access personalized guidance, tailored feedback, and a wealth of resources to support us on that journey.
Absolutely. RoleCatcher provides actors with the tools and insights they need to navigate the ever-changing landscape of the entertainment industry and achieve their full potential.
Now, before we say goodbye, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought to ponder. What's one small step you can take today to move closer to your acting goals? It could be as simple as reading a play, watching a film, practicing a monologue, or even just taking a moment to visualize yourself succeeding in your dream role. Every step, no matter how small, contributes to your progress.
And remember, the world needs your stories. Embrace the challenges, celebrate the victories, and never stop sharing your unique voice with the world.
That's a beautiful sentiment.
Mhm.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of actress interview prep. We hope you feel empowered, informed, and ready to shine in those auditions.
Break a leg.
Okay, so we're back, wrapping up our deep dive into the world of actress interview prep.
Yeah.
We've covered so much, analyzing those tricky questions, exploring those career paths, even diving into this, AI tools.
It's been a lot, right? We've talked about everything from handling rejection to really showcasing your passion and even, kind of like navigating those delicate creative collaborations.
And speaking of navigating,
Yeah.
let's circle back to RoleCatcher's AI tools for a moment. We've discussed how they can analyze job descriptions and highlight those crucial skills. But I'm curious how this translates into real-world interview scenarios.
Okay.
Can you give us a concrete example of how we can use this AI insight to tailor our answers?
Absolutely. Let's say you're prepping for an interview with a prestigious theater company known for its classical productions. RoleCatcher's AI might analyze their job descriptions and highlight skills like vocal projection, stage presence, understanding of classical text, and ability to embody heightened language.
So if they ask a question like, what is your favorite type of character to portray?
Right.
We can use those AI insights to shape our answer.
Exactly.
Instead of just saying, I love playing complex characters, we can tailor our response to align with those specific skills.
Exactly. You could say something like, I'm drawn to characters who demand a strong vocal and physical presence. Those who navigate complex emotions with heightened language and theatrical flair. I thrive on the challenge of bringing classical texts to life, exploring the nuances of language and gesture to create a truly captivating performance.
Wow, that's a great example of how we can use RoleCatcher's AI to connect the dots between our personal passions and the specific needs of the role. It's like having a secret decoder ring,
Yeah.
that helps us speak their language.
It's about showcasing your unique strengths in a way that resonates with the company's artistic vision, and that's what sets RoleCatcher's AI apart. It's not about being someone you're not, it's about strategically highlighting the aspects of your craft that align with their specific needs.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the key takeaway for our listeners? What's the one piece of advice that will help them approach their actress interviews with confidence and authenticity?
I would say embrace your individuality, cultivate your craft, and never stop learning. The world needs your unique voice, your perspective, your ability to bring characters to life.
Beautifully said. And remember, the journey is just as important as the destination. Embrace the challenges, celebrate the victories, and never stop telling those stories that matter.
Break a leg.
And that's a wrap on our deep dive into actor-actress interview prep. We hope you've enjoyed it and learned some valuable tips for your next audition. Remember, your passion for acting is your superpower, and with the right tools and insights, you can absolutely land that dream role. Now go out there and break a leg.